That night, after a long day of flying home on his fluffy cloudlet, Murchik snuggled deep into his soft, warm bed. But then, a loud, strange whistle echoed right through the dark. Murchik's furry ears shot straight up. His eyes snapped open. Who in the world is blowing a whistle at midnight? That's just rude. He hopped off his bed and tiptoed to the window, peering cautiously into the moonlit yard below. And that's when he saw it. Something was glowing down there, right in the middle of the lawn. It was a tiny silver whistle, just floating in the air all by itself. It shimmered with a soft, magical light. And then a tiny voice whispered from it, a voice like rustling leaves. "Help, help." Murchik gasped, stumbling back on his paws. "You can talk." A talking whistle. This was definitely not a normal Tuesday night. But before he could ask another question, zap! The whistle shot forward and attached itself firmly to Murchik's collar, right next to his little bell. "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Get off!" Murchik cried, shaking his head and pawing at his neck. But the whistle wouldn't budge. It was stuck fast. "I am the midnight whistle," it said, its voice a little stronger now, but still soft and mysterious. "I choose a brave heart to protect the night sprites from harm, and tag you're it." Murchik blinked. Tag? He was just a cat who liked naps and chasing string, not playing magical games in the middle of the night. Before the whistle could explain, the ground began to tremble. A deep rumble shook the entire yard. This was no ordinary bunny. It was huge, towering over Murchik, with paws that stomped like thunder and eyes that glowed a menacing, fiery red. The whistle whispered urgently in Murchik's ear, is the night hunter. He's a monster who steals every sound, every song, every laugh from the night, leaving only silence behind. Murchik stared up at the colossal, shadowy figure, a rabbit. He said, a bit of his usual confidence returning, "I can handle a rabbit. I chase them all the time." He puffed out his chest, ready for a fight. But this was no ordinary chase. The night hunter opened its enormous, gaping mouth and a powerful force sucked in all the sound around them. He opened his mouth, trying to shout, but only silence emerged. Murchik took a deep breath, puffed out his cheeks as much as he could, and blew into the whistle with all his might. An incredible sound, louder and more beautiful than any whistle he'd ever heard, exploded into the night sky like a burst of musical fireworks. It didn't just push him back, it covered him from head to toe in a shimmering, glittering stardust. The giant rabbit froze mid-stomp, its red eyes wide with surprise. Its whole shadowy body trembled, and then it let out one huge sneeze. Achoo! And with that sneeze, it began to shrink. It shrank and shrank until it was nothing more than a tiny, fluffy, harmless bunny with twitching ears, sitting innocently on the grass. Instantly, all the sounds of the night rushed back in. The crickets chirped, the wind whispered, and Murchik could finally speak. He looked down at the tiny bunny, which now looked more scared than scary. "You're actually kind of cute." The little bunny, no longer a shadowy monster, hopped cautiously toward him and nudged his leg. Murchik gently picked it up, and it snuggled into his arms. The midnight whistle on his collar glowed with a warm, approving light. Murchik smiled, but it was a very sleepy smile. The adrenaline was wearing off, and all he could think about was his warm bed. "That's great," he yawned, cuddling the little bunny closer. As if it understood, the whistle gently detached itself from his collar and floated back into the air. Murchik, too tired to argue, simply nodded and carried the tiny bunny back inside. He climbed the stairs, tucked the little creature into a spare blanket, and finally crawled back into his own bed. "Good night, world," he yawned, closing his eyes. "And no more loud whistles, please." And with that, the new guardian of the night and his new bunny friend fell fast asleep. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this magical adventure. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.